How to Embrace Change. Hello, everybody. It's Johnny Campbell here, the Transition Man. And I just want to welcome you to this video here on how to be the agent of change and how to embrace change. Now, the reason I created this video series is because there's so many people out there that are in leadership positions, they're in places of influence, but then there are also people who are trying to create more influence and success in their own life. And in order to do that, in order to really deal with change and help people embrace it, you got to understand some core principles that come with that. Now, my experience in this area comes from being a part of multiple reorganizations in companies where I was in charge of helping lead people through a process to embrace the new changes that were occurring. And simply put, I came to realize people don't like change. No one actually likes change. Now, many people will say, well, Johnny, I like change. Well, let me tell you something about change. Most people, because of how we are wired, do not like change. And so therefore, we have to come up with better ways to help people embrace it. And that's really what my expertise is, in helping people embrace it in new and better ways. And so here's the first kind of lessons that I want to share with you in this video here. First and foremost, change is not a process, it's an event. I repeat that. Change is not a process, it's an event. See, change that occurs, and that's why we remember change so well. We don't remember processes, but we remember events. We remember events that changed our lives. We remember the events that changed the course of history. Those are all events. They're not processes. So when many people talk about change management processes, it's really transition processes. In other words, you have an event that occurs, that's the change, and then you go through this process, this transitional process. And at the end of that process, either you accept and embrace the change, or you reject the change. Either you get better from the transitional process, or you get worse from the transitional process. And that's really something I want those out there, their leaders, to think about here as you're trying to guide your people through a process of enlightenment and understanding, whether it's technology, it's a new process, it's a new thing coming into their lives, or even if it's coming into your life. Now, here's how we start this process of getting people to embrace it. First and foremost, when the event occurs, which is the change, what is their values and beliefs? What are their values and beliefs about what has occurred? In other words, how do they see it and how do they feel? That creates the vision that they will have. And that's the vision, in other words, that they see. And because they see that vision, that's how they react and that's how they respond. In your own life, it's the same way. An event occurs, your values and beliefs kick in, and you say to yourself, this is how I see the world based on that event. So whether it's a tragedy or it's a blessing or it's something new and exciting, that's how it starts to work in your life. And so once we understand what their values and their beliefs are, suddenly then we can start to frame how we could communicate the benefits of this event to them. In other words, we have to understand their values and beliefs so that we can create a frame around the change so that they will be more open to seeing the value of what is being offered to them. Because here's the one thing that I talked about when it comes to change. When people are experiencing change, they feel a sense of loss. Most people, when change occurs, feel like they're losing something. So when you start to frame them, in other words, frame this situation to them, you have to frame it where they feel like they're gaining more. No one has ever rejected more. More money, more time, more happiness, more success, more power, more control, more anything people will embrace. But most people, when a change occurs, they feel like they have to lose. They have to let go. And you want to show them that letting go can help them grow because they're going to gain more from the experience, more wisdom, more insight, more understanding. This is the start of helping people to embrace change. And it's important that this be the starting point, whether you're trying to help people improve their sales or improve their life. It's so important to understand their values and beliefs about that experience or that event that has just occurred, because that helps you to start the framing process. Now notice, I'm just framing it right now. Once we understand and we start to frame how they see it, then we have to go in deeper and understand what their true fears and doubts and worries are as it relates to that. And that's another video in itself that I'm going to release on how to deal with fears, doubts, and worries when people are experiencing change. But once we get through their fears, doubts, and worries, now we can actually start setting goals. So what I wanted to do here in this video was to kind of lay some context. There are a lot of people out there that talk about change, but how many people talk about the transitional process behind it? And that's really what I want to share. And I want to use this also as a case study. I want to share with you real life experiences of things that happen to people. And I want you to notice how what I'm talking about is the underlay to what they are experiencing. See, I've gotten very good at understanding the framework behind these events, and I want to share that with you so that you can become a person of influence. There's a lot of principles on influence, but how many people are going to share with you the process and how it actually works? That's what I'm going to do here in these videos. So if you're a leader, or you run an organization, or you're just an individual who's trying to improve themselves and trying to understand why I do what I do, or why I won't do what I should do, then I want you to make sure that you subscribe to these videos. In other words, subscribe to the channel, comment on the channel. Also, be sure to share this with other individuals because it's very important, because the more you share, the more this message gets out to people and the bigger difference we can all make in other people's lives. So once again, this is Johnny Campbell, the Transition Man. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this with others because it will make a difference in their life if they start to listen to it. And by the way, leave a comment also, because I'll answer your questions within these videos. So once again, this is Johnny Campbell, the Transition Man. I wish you all the best in your success, and I'll see you in the next video.